poem will tell you a bit about me, sort of. Mythologised. Talk for England. She could talk for all of Europe, for the whole planet. And when the aliens came, that's precisely what she did. Talked and talked until they threw their tentacles in the air and gave up their plans for invasion. Cry? My dear, you've never seen such crying. How do you think the Atlantic got that way? It really was the pond before she started. Never should have let her watch that weekly film. She blows the biggest, most fantastic bubbles, blows them around trees and buildings, around whole cities. The type that don't burst at a touch, that shatter into rainbows at a whisper. She doesn't write poems, she breathes them, moulds them from dust and dreams, shapes them with kisses, and sets them dancing to their own rhythm. She makes necklaces from the hearts of stars in the colours which existed before colour was invented, strung on the songs of angels, and gives them to strangers hidden in bunches of flowers. Real bodies. Real bodies sweat, they don't perspire. Horses sweat, my aunt scolded. Men perspire, ladies glow. I was 10. I didn't want to be a lady. I didn't want to be ashamed of my clean sweat. Real bodies have wrinkles and bumps in odd places. Wobble sometimes, especially when you laugh. Real breasts obey gravity, but certainly not spherical. And then it must crinkle like a smile. Real bodies have elbows and knees, which get in the way sometimes in amorous tangles. I like real bodies, especially yours. I've got a disclaimer for this one. The heaven and the hell in this poem are the heaven and the hell in the imaginations of bigoted, religious hate-mongers like Fred Phelps, who, if you don't know who he is, he's an American who, amongst other things, has got a website called God Hates Fags. He is, however, an equal opportunity hater. He has got another website called God Hates Everyone. Hellbent. Hellbent. I'm hellbent. I'm bound for the fiery pit, but I'll be in good company. I have a room reserved next to Oscar Wilde. I'll have Sappho round for tea. We'll have Ben and Jerry's ice cream, a big scoop of Hubby Hubby, and wash it down with Pepsi while we dance with the gay Teletubby. I'm going to hell in a shiny pink handcart. There's plenty of room left inside, and there'll be more along in a minute or two, but the rest of you taking a ride. If you're gay or you're bi, you'll be hellbent with me, because God hates fags, you know. I know it sounds wrong, it must be true, because Fred Phelps told me so. But please, don't think just because you're straight you'll avoid the claws of Satan. If you listen to those who are righteous and godly, you'll find there's much more to be hating. Are you Muslim or Jew? Have you got a tattoo? Does your skirt show your knees or your ankle? Do you take to the streets to protest and fight back when social injustices rankle? If your quiver's not full of God's little arrows, that's children in case it's not clear. At least half a dozen, though 10 would be better, then you're not in God's good books, I fear. On the road to hell with me are feminists, goths, and those who have views like Obama's, drinkers and smokers and singers of songs and poets who dress in pyjamas. So I'm hell-bent, but I'm not complaining, and it won't do much good if I do. When I look at the guest list for heaven, I'm so glad I'm not going there too. This one, not saying a word. Not saying a word. not saying, not, those hands neon between us in letters 10 feet high, not saying a word, not saying, though it is spelled out in the lines of my upturned palm clear for your reading, not saying, not, though it fills my lungs and leaves me breathless, not saying the word, not saying, not, though it lies on my lips like a morning kiss, not saying the word, though it echoes from each word I speak, though my every movement shouts it, not saying the word, not saying, not, say the word. Now, fairy tales look very different sometimes from the point of view of the characters in them. This one is Sleeping Beauty. They sheltered me too much, did Mum and Dad. Dad mostly. Mum was more laid back, but Dad, Princess, he'd say. He always called me Princess. Princess, you don't need to know yet how yarn is made. Just wait till you get older. If I persisted, he'd fob me off with nonsense about stalks and gooseberry bushes. It made me deadly curious, of course. I scoured the library for books on fabric to know about it. Nothing but maps and novels and a small selection of quite esoteric porn. Curiosity was my undoing, really. That first sight of spindle sent me dizzy, pulse racing, and I had to touch it. Next thing I know, sharp pain and bleeding, and it all goes black. They say I slept for 100 years. Felt like a good night's kick to me. Though I could really use some coffee. The story says my sleep was broken by a kiss from the prince. Believe that if you like, but I was there, and let me tell you, it wasn't his tongue he was trying to slip in. That woke me like a shot, and thank the goddess, the princess with her dress hiked up and always out while the prince with his trolleys round his ankles. I left the bastard, red-faced, cursing, stumbling, and glancing back as I ran off, I thought, what a fuss over such a little prick. Which is about me again, because I like writing about me. The best of me is a bestiary. You say this like it's a bad thing, an epithet for screaming headlines. Beast attacks woman, cage these beasts now. But I celebrate the beast in me. The best of me is a bestiary. I celebrate the boneless cat stretch, unashamed and sensual. Stroke me right and I purr. I celebrate the magpie lust for glitter. Ooh, shining. I bring you pearls and crystals for your nest. The best of me is a bestiary. I celebrate my inner squirrel, hoarding provisions against a harsh winter. I celebrate the butterfly flitting without clear direction, moving from brightness to brightness. The best of me is a bestiary. I celebrate my tiger fierceness, provoke me and my claws unsheathed. I celebrate the sisterhood of the elephant, the vast, slow loyalty. The best of me is a bestiary. I celebrate, often, the sloth. I even celebrate the cockroach, stubborn, uncrushable. The best of me is a bestiary. And I celebrate the unicorn, the dragon, the chimera, the magical, fantastical. These beasts are in me too. I celebrate the phoenix rising from my own ashes.